Hey guys, and welcome to BZPower's review of set 71303, Ikir, Creature of Fire. I'm DeeVee, and this is the box. Here you can see on the front of the box we have the Bionicle logo with the Mask of Control up here at the top. So you can see it's exploding outward with these cool little almost Art Deco-y style lines reminiscent of the Skull Warrior weapons. Say, Ikir is here attacking the bear trap with Tahu and another bear trap there on the side. Some cool ruins and the floating mask there. So this is the European box, so there's no piece count or little legal information there on the front. On the back, you can see the action features. Tahu and Ikir combine into the winged Tahu. The wings flap when you pull the tail. Here's a picture of the head at a 1:1 scale. Slightly less 1:1, but you know, that's the way things work. Here is a little picture showing off the gimmick of the bear trap where its mouth opens and closes. And here is all of the fun legal stuff. Here's all of its names in different languages, and here's the little symbol that says this is a buildable figure, which means it's a CCBS set. They've all been branded with this little cool little logo lately. Saying it's pretty cool. It's a box. You know, it's the same shape as all the other boxes we got last year. See, up here on the top or on the bottom you've got the UPC and the thing like that. Up on top you have a Nuva symbol, and this cool symbol I'm assuming symbolizes the beasts. It's a little thicker than the boxes we got during the summer, but otherwise, or summer and the last winter. Otherwise, it's basically the same. So anyway, here we go. Ikir comes with lots of neat new pieces. First of all, and most importantly probably, is his head mold. See, there are two bar clips here and a bar hole there, so you can combine different pieces to create slightly different customized beast heads. See, the gold fades here into the trans orange, which is pretty cool. It's a really beautiful color fade. Makes me wish that we had gotten a trans orange and gold Tahu mask last year. I think that'd be pretty cool. You can see it's pretty hollow here, and there's a little ball snap there to connect with. You see the eyes molded on here, and some glyphs here along the top, and along the side, and along the top. This one very reminiscent of the Mask of Creation. Here we have one half of the new bear trap in gunmetal. See the claw hole teeth things there that snap together to create the actual trap. Very reminiscent of an actual hunting bear trap. Got the axle connection here, some piston designs there, the peg holes there, the pinholes, the very angular, almost circuitry board styling there along the top. It's a pretty cool piece. It's very well designed for what it's supposed to be, and it looks really cool and put together. Say we have the new blade weapon. Say there are two of them that come here on Ikir, and then there are two that come on Tahu as well. They are silver blended with normal orange instead of transparent orange. Say it creates a kind of funny color scheme here where the orange and the silver don't quite mesh as well, but as you can see on this side here, it looks pretty cool. Definitely looks warmer and more molten than you think the trans orange would have, which is kind of interesting considering this is a solid color. The texturing and detailing here is not bad. Some cool little lines there, very kind of reminiscent of Tahu's original fire weapon in 2001. So you've got your pinholes here and the axle connection there. Ikir comes with several Technic pieces here. Here is a molded gear and axle connector, a lot like the axle connectors we've seen in the past where normally there'd be an axle hole here, and you've got the 1.5 length axle connection there. Instead though, there's a gear molded on here at the end to create some very fun, very neat little action movements. It's a fun little piece, and it'll be cool to see what they use it for in regular Technic sets as well. Here is a little Technic connector that's probably the highlight of the set for a lot of Technic-minded builders. Got the little pinhole here and the axle there. It's a very reminiscent of the piece we got last year in black with a pinhole and a pin. This time it's an axle, and I can say I think this piece is going to be infinitely more usable than the one that had the pin on it was. And probably the most controversial piece that comes in the set is the piece of Unity here used on Ikir for his body and torso and to connect onto Tahu. Say with the long sides here, the axle and the pin and the axle, the lines going into the front. Say it's a lot better looking in person than it was in the CG images. The pistons here are understated, and the designs here up on top are very elegant. It's very Art Nouveau meets Art Deco. It kind of reminds me of almost an old style microphone, with the lines here going down. Say the rounded shape here on top has been compared a lot to the Baraki armor, which I would definitely agree with. It reminds me of that very strongly, but in a much more futuristic / almost steampunk style. Say the piece is long here on the sides and very rectangular, going up to the curved spots here. Say the inside work there, you can see it thins out on the inside for the pieces. Say it allows here for some connections, a little thinner here and a little wider there. Say it's a, here it comes in the pearl gold. Say it's a controversial piece, but I'll be honest and say that as much as I hated how it looked in the CG imagery, I find it a lot nicer in person, and I think it works very well for the torso of the bird. So after building, you have a completed Shadow Trap and Ikir, Creature of Fire. Say, the Shadow Trap is pretty neat. We'll talk about that first because it's pretty small. See here, it's got the blue eye and the trans orange legs. So it's a very simple but very striking little build. It's neat. You see the function here where it opens and it ratchets closed. So the little bar clips are, a very weak connection often. Say it's neat, closed around his foot. Put it on there and just snap it as shut as you can with, just as you would a real animal bear trap. Say it's a fun little play feature. It's a little bit more fun to play with than the skull spiders were, although I think it lacks some of the personality the skull spiders had with the very clear evil skull design embedded in them. So here we see the completed Creature of Fire. So he's a very, very character-driven set. For having molded on eyes with no printing, he has a very strong and stern expression. Say the head with the longer CCBS bone there allows for a pretty cool range of poses. You can go further back, you can go real extended. It's a very, very cool. The wingspan is very large. It's got a very impressive look here. You can see when you pull the tail up and down, the wings flap. Say the talons close. Altogether, I have to say, it's a very cool, visually striking set. The gears feel unobtrusive, and while there are people who complain about the open ball joints here, I find I don't really mind, I don't really notice them a whole lot. Say, I think the overall presentation of the set allows them to fall into the background, and being such a neutral color like black, being overwhelmed with so many other colors, they sort of fade away. Say, on the back you can see here the mess of Technic that creates the function. Say, it's a little ugly. But at the same time, normally you're going to be looking at the set from the front or maybe the side, maybe a neat little 3/4 angle here. So you'll notice that you don't really notice it as much. It just flies away. Overall, I have to say, I really, really like this guy. I think it's a really neat little set, and I think it has a lot to offer. I'm still astounded at how cheap these are compared to sets that we got in the very first run of Bionicle. Like, this is comparable to the price point of the Bionicle Stars line, and yet here we are looking at all of these pieces and all of this functionality and all of this complexity, and it's definitely a better bang for your buck than the Bionicle Stars or comparable sets like that. I have to say, if you see it on the shelf, I would suggest picking it up. Just the way the fire here with the new crystalline blades and the way it all looks together. Like I said, I think the piece of Unity here works very well. It's understated and it's nice. I think it's a good set, and I think if you see it, I think you should definitely pick it up.